Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life. Are you ready to start living life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Then welcome, my friends, to the Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, everyone. For those of you who were unaware, www.expansionmastery.com is down. I've taken down the website, and I am creating a new website, and it will be back up shortly. It's coming along fantastically, I must say. I'm really, really happy with this new layout design. It's clean, it's fresh, it's uncluttered. It's just really, really visually appealing, and it's going to be so much easier for you guys to interact with. It has the capability to accept more credit cards and even PayPal, and there's going to be a ton of incredible new products available on there. Everything is scheduled to be digital, so the audio programs will be available to you in MP3 format, which I had heard all of your requests, all you people in Europe asking me for that, and here you go. You got it, absolutely. I understand that people are not really using the CDs anymore and things. Everybody wants digital downloads. So you want it, you got it. Whatever makes it easier and more beneficial for you, that's what I'm doing. So these things will become available very soon. I appreciate your patience. Yes, you will still be able to get autographed copies of the book Expansion Mastery if you're looking for that. The website will be the only place that you can get autographed copies. Of course, copies are still available at all your major booksellers. So if you didn't know why the website was down, now you've been informed. You can keep up with the latest information about the website here on the podcast show, as well as my Facebook author page. And this is the reason that the podcast has become a little erratic as of late. I'm extremely, extremely busy with projects, creating content and new programs for the new website, editing and finishing the book about conscious relationships. I'm also rewriting the free ebook that was offered on the previous website on reinventing yourself through realignment. There's going to be a new revised and expanded edition of that book available in PDF form on the new website, so make sure and check it out. I've really added a lot of material to this book, and it is quite substantial now. And I hope that the material in that book will serve you in the same positive way that it served me in making such drastic life changes. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And I hope that we usher in this new era of Expansion Mastery together. I also just wanted to check in with everyone and see how you were doing with the practices that I've shared so far this year. Obviously, you've got a ton of practices from previous episodes, well over 200 episodes now, and this year alone I've shared with you 4 simple yet very, very life-changing practices, and just checking in to make sure you're doing those. Remember that it is the consistency that is the real challenge. The spiritual practices themselves aren't meant to be overly difficult, but the reason they seem so difficult or so challenging to actually attain results from is not the fault of the practice. It is generally traced back to lack of consistency. That is what unlocks the potential of these practices is to be consistent in your engagement of them. Okay, I know it's a little after the fact, and I apologize for that, but actually this came about after the fact. So I want to give you something to think about, and there's a way that we can start to utilize this as a practice as well. Not a practice that you have to do every day, just a practice that comes up during a holiday. So allow me to start with this. This Valentine's Day, my wife and I had a fantastic time, and afterwards, a few days afterwards, I had been doing a lot of contemplation, and I was thinking about this whole aspect of Valentine's Day and how over the past, 5 to 10 years, the appreciation for Valentine's Day has deteriorated dramatically. And now it's kind of trendy to be a hater of Valentine's Day. I recall when I was younger that this was not the case. People were very excited for Valentine's Day, especially the ladies. And this seems to have dramatically shifted away from this romance and excitement to being one of bitterness, of hatred, of jealousy. And this is very concerning to me as to where the human mind is going, where the collective human mind is going. For instance, when I was younger, Valentine's Day was very exciting. If you had kids, you knew you were going to get a babysitter because, you were going out to dinner as a couple. It's a romantic holiday, right? Let's face it, Valentine's Day is not about your children. It's not about your pets. It's not about your friends. It's to do with the romance between two people that form a couple. Okay? And back then, people that were single, right? We're all single at some point in our lives. The people that were single didn't get bitter about it. They didn't get their feelings hurt over this sort of thing. It was just an accepted fact. Okay, well, I'm single right now. That holiday doesn't necessarily apply to me. Maybe if I want to go buy myself a box of candy or something. But it was no big deal. Nobody got so worked up about it and formed a feeling of hatred for the holiday over that sort of thing. And people realized that it was just about romance, and that it was time for the men to shower their ladies with, gestures, romantic gestures. Flowers are a romantic gesture. And flowers are beautiful. They smell fragrant. See, they're supposed to represent the beauty and fragrance that is a woman. It's supposed to show them that you are acknowledging just how incredibly beautiful they are. That's what the flowers represent. And it gives a woman something to appreciate. They get the joy of taking in the beauty of the flowers and the fragrance of the flowers, right? It was the same with dinner. You were always going out to dinner. You tried to go to a place that was a little extra nice, right? You dressed up. You went to somewhere extra nice. You splurged a little bit if you could afford it at the time. And you tried to do something special. But see, it isn't about the flowers and the candy and the dinner and the jewelry and all of that. Those things are trinkets. But those trinkets represent your love. They represent a little extra effort that you're making to show this other person how much you love them. Right? This is how I grew up, and it makes sense because regardless of how this holiday originated, the holiday is meant to focus upon the romantic love of a couple. And that's a beautiful thing. Now, ideally, and I do my very best to do this, I make sure my wife feels loved every day of the year. I try to do special things here and there and a lot of little things along the way. I never take our relationship for granted, and I certainly never take her for granted. I love her more than anybody else on this planet, and I want her to know that every single day. However, Like this year, her and I have both been extremely busy with work. You get a glimpse as to what I've been working on, and she's been incredibly busy with her job lately too. So this year, Valentine's Day fell on Wednesday, middle of the week, and it was perfect for us that it gave us a chance to take a break in the middle of a demanding work week and just focus on each other. Just focus on our love for one another. And that just seemed like an incredible gift in itself to me this year. And I know things are demanding for everybody right now. And it was really nice to see at the restaurant that we went to for dinner that there were so many happy couples there. The restaurant was filled. It was absolutely packed. And it was all couples enjoying the holiday together. And it seemed like everybody was dressed nicely and that there was nice conversation going on. There was champagne bottles popping all over the place and wine bottles on tables, and you could see everybody was just making a little extra effort to acknowledge and enjoy their love. That was fantastic. I love to see that. But this is what the holiday always used to be. It was candies and gifts and things. And it was just a time where you showed the person you love that they were worth making a little extra effort for. You know what I mean? It shows your intention because, yes, the gifts are nice and all of that, but it's the intention behind the gifts that truly touches the heart. It is the fact that you go out of your way to get a secret gift that you get to give on that day. You go out of your way to take them to a nice restaurant where you can share a romantic dinner. Maybe you go out of your way to be a little more romantic than you normally are. And let us not forget that it's a holiday, and holidays are meant to be celebrated. So we are meant to celebrate our love, our romantic love. And this celebration is a way to raise our vibration and to embrace the idea that is at the core of the holiday. And it's so sad to me now because we've reached a point where hating Valentine's Day has become trendy, and so many people are doing it. And I can't help but wonder, are those who are bitter towards a holiday, it's just a holiday, but those who are bitter towards holidays like Valentine's Day, are you bitter because you have never got to enjoy that holiday with somebody and celebrate romantic love? Is it because you've been jilted by a past relationship, so now you're just bitter on the whole thing? Or have you been programmed in some way, conditioned in some way to gravitate away from love, romance, and celebration in favor of lower vibrational frequency emotions such as hatred and disdain and things like that? And I'm using this word hatred because people that I've interacted with, that's the word they've used. Yeah, I'm a Valentine's Day hater, or I'm a hater of Valentine's Day, right? These are the ways that they word this, and it's very concerning to me. I feel bad for these people because I wish everyone could have an incredibly happy and healthy romantic relationship worth celebrating. And over the past 5 or 10 years, it seems to be, and I've seen some of the programming coming through on television programs and Netflix programs and different things like that, and even the messages that we're being conditioned with from music and things. I see this happening. I see humanity being drawn away from the act of celebrating. This is incredibly unfortunate. I see people are hardly celebrating any holidays anymore. They just go with the idea that, it's just another day, right? It doesn't really matter. But We have holidays for a reason, and the idea is that we can celebrate. And it's great for the human spirit to celebrate. It gives us a time to really bring out a positive vibration, positive feeling, and take it to a little bit higher level than we may be able to hold it every day and enjoy that with one another. See, celebration is incredibly important, and we cannot lose the act of celebrating. I also see a drastic decline in romantic love, romantic relationships. It seems now that it's like two people coming together simply out of convenience or out of some form of expectation that they have placed on themselves, or they've been conditioned to expect that this is what they're supposed to do. And it seems like there are less and less relationships now. It seems like people are just not coming together, and it feels sometimes like romance is dying in the world. We cannot allow this to happen. We cannot surrender our ability to have a romance with someone. Deep in your heart, you crave this. I know it, you know it, everybody knows that we crave this. But as we get drawn deeper and deeper into our head, stuck in our head, entrenched in the left brain and the ego, it pulls us further and further away from our heart, and we lose these parts of our humanity, of celebration, of romance, of love. And I'm pleading with everyone, do not allow this to happen. Do not surrender your humanity. It's meant to be embraced. So on a Facebook page that my wife and I have centered around the relationship book that we are currently working on, I posted some polls that were on MSN. Okay? And the first poll was one that was asking, are you celebrating Valentine's Day? And at the time of the poll, 31% said that they would be celebrating Valentine's Day, and 62% said they would not be. And then, of course, you have 7% that don't know whether they're going to celebrate it or not. 62% of the people polled at that point in time, and I don't know, it was in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. That really, really distressed me, because we see 62% of the people surrendering their ability to celebrate and to celebrate romantic love. Shortly after that, they posted a new poll that asked, do you believe Valentine's Day is romantic or overrated? This one was even more distressing. 16% believed it was romantic, and 81% thought it was overrated. 3% said they didn't know. I don't know how these people don't know, but okay. 81% think Valentine's Day is overrated. That's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Later that day, they put up another poll. Have you ever forgotten Valentine's Day? This one offered a little bit of light. 30% of people said yes, they had forgotten Valentine's Day. 65% said they have never forgotten Valentine's Day. 5% didn't know if they had ever forgotten Valentine's Day or not. This was a little better. At least 65% of the people hadn't forgotten it. I can say with 100% honesty, I have never forgotten Valentine's Day. If you want to see the actual screenshots taken from MSN on my phone from these polls, you can do that at Facebook, the Entangled Souls Conscious Relationships page. I see people posting things, like they make a dinner at home. but it's usually the same food as always, and they're saying, oh, we're eating this instead of candy, and we're doing this instead of flowers, and all of that. That's fine. I mean, to celebrate the holiday however it works for you and your partner, that's fine. But some of these things are cliche for a reason, and the reason is because what they represent. And we have to remember that the most important thing, the essence of this type of holiday, is that we are showing the person that we are supposed to love more than anyone else in the world that they're worth a little extra effort once in a while, right? But as the ego continues to inflate and dominate the mind, people become less and less capable of making the effort for someone else because they are entirely self-absorbed. We want to realize that we're showing this person that they're worth the extra effort. It's the intention behind all of this stuff. Even if you don't get quite the right flowers or quite the right candy or whatever, right? The person still appreciates it because they understand the intention that is behind it. They understand that you were doing your best to make a gesture of love for them. And how can we not appreciate that? See, this is what we're doing. We're celebrating the appreciation of our romantic love for that one and only special person that we love more than anyone else in the world. I, for one, cannot think of a better reason to celebrate. What better reason could there be than love? People, we cannot lose love. Love is what connects us to the divine, and it's the day that we all surrender that humanity will be lost. Love was meant to be embraced. Even if you're not in a relationship at the moment, or you're not in a happy relationship at the moment, that's fine. These things change, right? This too shall come to pass. Things change. So look forward to it. And then when you get it, when you are in a happy, healthy relationship with somebody, then make sure that you appreciate it fully. Make sure that you celebrate it fully. And make sure you celebrate that love. So I don't know. That's one of the things that I was reflecting on and after the holiday, and hopefully it maybe offers some value to you. So if you are a hater of Valentine's Day, maybe you can do a little introspection and see if you can turn that around and learn to embrace this romantic holiday. Now, as I promised, we'll take a look at this as a spiritual practice. So here's what I propose. Take it for what it's worth. Do it if it sounds interesting or whatever. But one of the things that I would challenge you is if you're not celebrating very much anymore, you notice in your own life that this is declining, you just don't feel like celebrating or whatever, I would challenge you to celebrate the next holiday that arrives. Whatever that happens to be. If it's a birthday, then you celebrate that person, whoever's birthday it is, right? When my wife's birthday comes around, the entire celebration is to celebrate her. So whatever the holiday, I challenge you to actually celebrate it. Make the extra effort. And it doesn't mean you have to spend a bunch of money or anything. You make the extra effort. Put yourself in that higher vibrational state. Get out there and celebrate in whatever way works for you. Everybody likes to celebrate differently. So your own unique way is fine, but do something more than you normally do. And remain conscious that that day is a holiday and just celebrate it. Do some things out of the ordinary. Break your rut. Splurge a little bit if you're capable. But celebrate. Celebrate. See how good it feels. It's okay to feel good. We don't have to live in this state of toxicity all the time. And this concerns me because I see humanity becoming increasingly toxic. This is not the direction we were meant to be heading in. We're supposed to be having this consciousness shift. And the vibration is rising. It's out there. And there's a lot of people that are having this happen. They're starting to awaken to whatever degree. They're starting to see things more clearly. They're starting to feel more love. Their heart's starting to open. But there's still so many people that are going backwards. So celebrate. And if you can, help others to celebrate as well. And people a lot of times look at, they try to do some research and come up with a negative spin on how the holiday was created or what it referred to or whatever. Who cares? Live in the moment with this and understand that it is the intention that it represents now that is most important. So, I don't know, whatever's coming up next, St. Patrick's Day here in the U.S., I don't know. But let's go with that. So, St. Patrick's Day, right, it's a cultural and religious type of holiday celebrating the passing of St. Patrick. Well, I'm not Irish. I've never been to Ireland. I am not participating in that religion. But yet I celebrate St. Patrick's Day. My wife and I both do. We go out to an Irish pub and we get an Irish stout that they make special, and we get they have the most tremendous homemade lamb stew. It's fantastic. So we go out and we celebrate. We'll wear green, we'll cheer with the other people and have fun. It's just a time to get out and celebrate, do something a little different and have some fun, blow off some steam, and enjoy yourself. And that is a heck of a lot better than just sitting your butt on the couch, either staring at the TV, the Netflix screen on your computer, or staring at that damn little screen you hold in your hand. Put all the screens away. Get out there in life and do something. Hey, you don't have to drink beer if you don't want to. It doesn't matter. You can celebrate in whatever manner that works for you. But whatever the next holiday is coming up where you live, anywhere in the world, celebrate it. Celebrate it to some degree, more than you usually do, more than you've done in the past. And if it's something where, like somebody's birthday or Valentine's Day or something where you get to honor and appreciate someone else, make sure that your intention is present. Make sure that you understand that I'm getting this for them, not out of a sense of mindlessness, but a sense of mindfulness for the intention of my true feelings behind the gift. And do your best to make sure that that person knows that they are worth a little bit of extra effort from you. Or a lot of extra effort from you, depending on what you're capable of giving, right? The funny thing is when we undergo the transformation from ordinary to extraordinary, from mindlessness to mindfulness, we have the tendency to reconnect to a sense of wonder and enjoyment in the world. I mean, think back when you were a little kid. You always enjoyed the holidays. You looked forward to them, right? At least most of us did. I know I sure did. I always looked forward to the holidays as a little kid. I really enjoyed them. And then as we grow up, we lose that sort of thing, right? We get lost because we have to work and we have to take care of the children and all these other obligations and this and that. And it's just like when we're young, we have a clear picture of our purpose and what we want to do in life, and yet that fades away as we get older. This is the way all the real magic in life fades away as we mature, but it doesn't have to. One of the reasons that happens is because the ego becomes developed and then it takes over. And when we begin to reclaim our mind through mindfulness practices, we once again open ourselves to all of the wonder in the world. And we reclaim a greater sense of enjoyment. So think about it. These holidays are not just for children. And obviously, Valentine's Day has nothing to do with children, does it? And that's between two romantic partners. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out and get crazy or anything on a holiday. I'm just saying celebrate it to whatever degree works for you. Hey, even on St. Patrick's Day, I know it's become very popular to get, blind stinking drunk. I never get drunk. My wife never gets drunk. We have a beer or two or something. That's about it. But we never get drunk. But we can still enjoy a beer or two and celebrate, right? You don't have to get plastered, in order to celebrate. So that is my challenge to you. So you can use this as another practice and pay particular attention to your intention behind any gestures that you make, behind any gesture, even the gesture itself of celebrating. Make sure that you understand what all of it represents. Be clear. Be very mindful on what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then enjoy yourself with it. And I truly hope that all of you have a happy and healthy relationship that you are able to celebrate next year for Valentine's Day. And do your best to retire the piece of your identity that is the hater of such a thing, and learn to embrace it. Embrace the romantic nature of love. It's a beautiful thing, and nothing opens our heart better than that. You can sit and try and do all the meditation and everything you want, but the greatest way to open your heart fully is through the expression of romantic love. Please make sure and follow us on social media, and please, please, please share this podcast. Get this show out there. Get some real spirituality back into the world. Get away from all of the New Age foofy stuff, and make sure that you visit our YouTube channel, my Facebook author page, and of course we're on Twitter as well. And soon the new website will be operational, and you can visit us there. This website will become your main source for everything going on through Expansion Mastery and living the fully engaged life. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the very best in your practices and your life and your celebrations. Take care.